So this next lesson is on complex shapes, which is really just when you have a shape made up of two or more shapes, or you have one shape kind of inside or removed from another. You do have to know one more formula. You're already kind of going to know it. It's just a half circle formula. You know a half circle looks kind of like that. And we have a radius. And your area equals pi r squared divided by 2. So that's the only new part. Again, something you probably already know, but we do use it with complex shapes. The easiest way to show you these guys is to just do an example. So here's a complex shape. Some of these guys, or some of the problems, you're going to be adding the shapes. Some of them you're going to be subtracting the shapes. It just depends on the problem. So here we go. This is number 5 on page 27, one of your worksheets, and it looks something like this. And you've got two sides that are the same, a 5 and a 12. And they say this whole thing is 20. Okay. So, from here, we're going to split into individual shapes. That's our first step. When I say individual shapes, I mean basic shapes. Okay, like right now you might be like, oh, that looks kind of like a house if I took it on its side. That's not a basic shape. You're thinking like your triangles, your parallelograms, your trapezoids, your circles. Those are your basic shapes. And I see if I was to draw a line right there, I could divide this guy into two shapes. A triangle and a rectangle. See that? Now I can transfer my measurements. A 512 is pretty smooth right there. We know this is also 12 because this triangle rests kind of right next to that rectangle. So 12. Now the height of the triangle is a little trickier, but not impossible to find. Remember, this whole shape is 20 meters. We've used up 5 meters from here to here, so the leftover is going to be the height of the triangle. We can go 20 minus 5 to get our height, and that's a 15. So there is our shapes there's our big shapes split into two smaller shapes with some with two big, and now we just got to find the two areas, and then we'll add them together at the end. So 2 is now we're going to find the area of the basic shapes. And we have a triangle. So our triangle formula is base times height divided by 2. Our base is that 12. Our height is that 15. And that's going to give us a 90. So my triangle is 90. And my rectangle, that formula is base times height. My base would be 5. So the same as here. My height would be 12. So 5 times 12 is 60. Now I have the area of my two shapes. And last but not least, we're going to add or subtract them depending on the picture. In this case, we can see that the shapes connect to form the bigger picture. So we are going to be adding. But that's our step 3. We're going to write add or subtract depending on the picture. Okay. And in this case, we're gonna add 90 plus 60 equals 150. And I guess our units are meters squared if we wanted to do those. Cool. I will do one of the subtraction ones on your practice work if you'd like to see that next.